Hello and welcome to Finomoney, the fintech show on the second Saturday of the month. It's been quite some time now, and without further ado, let's get it on. Today on the show, ONDC has become the new superhero in town with some big discounts and free deliveries. How different is this from Swiggy and Zomato? Find out in our special package to know more. Followed by our special discussion on digital lending with Mr. Ankit Khurana, Head of Brand and Marketing, India Lens. And what is co-lending and how different is it from lending? Find that out in our trivia segment, Finogyan. Now then, it's time. You know it. Yup, the big five, the movers and shakers of the world of fintech. The headlines coming up. First up, a big name is once again in big trouble. An FIR was registered against former BharatPe founder Ashneer Grover, his wife Madhuri Grover and family members by the Economic Offences Wing. The FIR has been registered under 8 sections. BharatPe on its part said that the FIR will bring the culprits to books and will extend all possible cooperation to the authorities. And Process Envy is booking, or should I say looking for some potential divestments from PayU. As per a report in the Economic Times, the investment firm is working with Bank of America as it assesses its interest in PayU's business outside India. Furthermore, the report said that this potential divestment option could fetch them as much as $800 million. However, there is no official confirmation yet on this deal. And moving on, Cashi's profit grows 8 times in FY22. This surge comes after a pandemic-driven slump in FY21. As per data from the Registrar of Companies, the startup's operating revenue surged 2.36 times to 247.91 crore rupees in FY22 from 104.69 crore rupees in FY21. The lending platform's net profit went up by 7.7 times to 33.8 crore rupees in FY22 from 4.37 crore rupees in the corresponding period last year. And Castler will now be raising $5 million in a pre-series A round led by Capital 2B and IIFL Fintech Fund. As per news reports, the global escrow banking platform will be using the funds to further grow its domestic and cross-border portfolio. It will also be expanding its banking partnerships to 25 banks and grow its business 10 times over the next few years. And lastly, Buno Finance has merged itself with Better Place. This is happening amid a funding winter. Now, both Buno and Better Place operate in the same segment, catering to blue-collared workforce and count food delivery companies like Swiggy and Zomato. As per a report in Mint, the acquisition had to take place because Buno Finance was not able to raise funds and Better Place has been looking to get into lending. Well, ever since ONDC came into the limelight, it has been offering some mouth-watering discounts and free deliveries. Now, this has made Swiggy and Zomato to really sweat. So, what is ONDC and will it be a game changer? Let's find it out in our special package.
A pizza is available for just 400 rupees on Swiggy and 300 rupees on Zomato. For a biryani, which usually costs 450 rupees, is now available for 320 rupees. No, we are not selling a pipe dream because ONDC is making this dream into a reality. In fact, people are saving their money this way. So, what is this ONDC? How it works? How it is changing the market dynamics? Let's watch this video to know it all. ONDC, that is Open Network for Digital Commerce, is an open source network developed by the government. On this, local and small businesses get a network-enabled application. ONDC aims to promote an open platform for e-commerce retailers. This will help small businessmen to increase their business and reduce the dominance of big companies in this sector. Let us understand the benefits of ONDC in simple words. With this, small businessmen and shopkeepers will be able to increase their reach in all businesses, including grocery, food order and delivery, hotel booking and travel. This means they will be able to reach more customers. ONDC was first launched in Bengaluru in September 2022. At present, this platform is available in many cities and people are using it to get the best deals. To understand this, we made a comparison between online food delivery apps and ONDC. Take the example of food items. This platform allows the restaurant owner to sell food items directly to the customer, unlike third-party apps like Swiggy, Zomato, where food is sold at a higher price. At present, 10,000 orders are being placed every day through ONDC. So then, how to use ONDC? ONDC can be used through the Paytm app. First, type ONDC in the search bar on Paytm app. After this, options like grocery, food, home and decor will drop down. Now, if you want to order food, then go to ONDC Food and choose your order from there. Similarly, you can order other products as well. Now coming to the delivery part. This platform basically works at two ends. At one end is the seller and at the other end is the buyer. Companies like GoFrugal and Digit host the seller side. On the other hand, Paytm hosts the buyer side interface, while ONDC acts as the interface connecting the buyer side and the seller side. Suppose you place an order for burger, the back end of this transaction will be supported by hyperlocal startup MagicPin. This app is part of both buyer and seller network on ONDC. Now the delivery of orders will be done by Dunzo. The delivery app will do this work in partnership with MagicPin. Now, can ONDC create a revolution? Well, ONDC is being called the UPI of online delivery. Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal has recently invited all big and small retailers to join ONDC. He says that this will help in creating huge opportunities. Along with the invitation, Goyal had said, Walmart and Flipkart, Tata and Reliance will have a role to play in making ONDC successful. In the years to come, ONDC will prove to be a game-changing e-commerce platform not only in India but across the globe.
And now it's time for some Q&A on digital lending. And speaking on this is Mr. Ankit Khurana, Head of Brand and Marketing, India Lens. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much, Ajay. I hope you're well as well.
Yeah, same here. So my first question to you is, 3 weeks ago, there was a pause on the repo rate hike from the RBI. Now, how has this helped the business scenario for digital lending?
Firstly, Ajay, we're very happy that the RBI has been able to rein in the inflation through monetary policy. It's extremely essential. We're seeing the repercussions of high inflation around the globe. So congratulations to the RBI for being able to manage it within the target inflation. Second, I think it's too early to really comment on whether it'll have an immediate impact or not, because banks tend to, or lenders don't tend to react this quickly to whether there's an increase or a decrease. But overall, we see this as a positive indication from the RBI that lenders can now start looking at a more certain future cost of capital for lenders. There's more certainty around what the cost of capital would be, and the products can be priced accordingly. Hopefully, we can also see these rates go down subsequently in the next some time. But immediately, we don't anticipate an immediate impact.
All right. So my next question to you is, in which segment do you think will get major traction from this pause in repo rate hikes? Will it just be on one product or an existing an entire portfolio of products?
See, the borrowers who are impacted the most by a changing repo rate are essentially long-term borrowers, right? So these would be home loan borrowers because the tenure of these loans are extremely long, right? They can go from 10, 15, 20 years. So the impact of even a small change in the interest rate can have a major impact on what the borrower is paying back. So I definitely see home loan customers being impacted in a positive way. Hopefully, when we see the repo rate to come down, there will be even more positive impact for these borrowers. For short-term borrowers, we really don't see too much of an impact. We've seen personal loan, especially, which is the space that India Lends operates in, which is unsecured lending. We're a marketplace where we work with 70 plus RBI approved lenders. The increase in repo rate was not always passed on to the consumer. And even from a consumer perspective, a slight increase in the interest rate because of short-term borrowing, the demand didn't really get impacted so much, which is why we saw over an 80% jump overall in the industry in personal loans. Of course, India Lends grew much more than this, almost 3x in the last financial year. But it's the long-term borrower who would get impacted the most.
Okay. So how do you think this move will help digital lenders create new and innovative products here?
The financial industry is famous for being slow to react, and all for the right reasons, right? It's the customer's money, so whilst it'll be important to look at how subsequent RBI meetings go and what their views are on the monetary policy. But business continues as usual. Hopefully, lenders can now introduce more favorable terms for new borrowers, products which are dependent on like housing, will get impacted in a good way because there's certainty around what is going to happen. The customers don't feel insecure about borrowing at a low rate today and then seeing their interest rates go up because these are usually floating rates. For short-term lending, again, I think it's business as usual. It's a part of the credit cycle, and whether it's lenders or it is consumer-facing LSPs like us, business continues as usual.
All right, just one last question before we let you go. So in terms of strategy, how do you think lenders will now position their existing product portfolio?
In terms of strategy, again, so a repo rate hike or a drop in repo rate, at least from our perspective, right, which is unsecured lending, short-term lending, where the tenures are usually between 20 months to 36 months. The positioning doesn't really change much. But the positioning, of course, changes for long-term borrowers, which are housing loans. This is where customers can feel more confident that whatever they're borrowing today is not going to cost them more because the monetary policy is going to impact their borrowing rates, right? So whether it is real estate developers, whether it is housing finance companies, they can communicate with more confidence to borrowers that we've seen the peak, and if you've been waiting to buy your next home or a property, you can do that with confidence today.
All right. With that, we wrap up this Q&A. Mr. Khurana, thank you so much for coming and sharing your insights. Take care.
Thank you, Ajay. It was my pleasure.
Well, the next time you make a high-value investment or transaction, please note that you will be closely watched by the Income Tax Department. Now, when and to whom the Income Tax Department has to give that information? Well, to know that, you need to watch Taxing Times, premiering today only on the Money9 English YouTube channel and on the Money9 app. Download now. Well, coming back to where we left off, now we know what lending is, but do you know what co-lending is? And how different is it from lending? If you don't, then watch our trivia segment Finogyan to know it all.
Now, when you borrow a loan, usually it's the bank or the financial entity that bears the entire risk. But have you ever heard of a lending model where the loan is given by one entity and the risk is shared by two entities? That is called as a co-lending model, and that is what we will tell you in today's Finogyan. So, as said in the beginning, co-lending is an arrangement where the loan is given by one entity but the risk is shared by two entities. A non-banking financial company is the originator, while a bank is where a major portion of the loan rests. An NBFC can partner with multiple banks, and a bank can partner with NBFCs. For example, let's say an NBFC has tied up with a bank. Here the bank need not share the responsibility of generating the loan. The NBFC run the basic filters including Know Your Customer or KYC for the prospective borrower before forwarding the application to the bank. The most binding aspect of this structure is the risk-sharing code. 80% of the risk is borne by bank and the rest by NBFC. Therefore, it enforces accountability on NBFC. Now, coming to the ticket size of the loan. Typically, these loans are retail focused and are small sized. Since co-lending is more popular in the small business loan and affordable housing segments, the ticket sizes start in the range of 3 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees and can go up to 1 crore rupees.
And that wraps today's Finomoney, the FinTech show. Download the Money9 app and stay tuned to Money9 English's YouTube channel. See you again on the 4th Saturday. Until then, take care, goodbye and adios.